You Let's
What's up,
roll,
guys?
fellas.
Happy Tuesday.
Another week.
Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday. Yeah, you're right, Joe. Brian was doing his makeup. That's why we were late. No, it's because Nature Boy Ric Flair over here has got to be outside every time we do a podcast now.
Well, I got the cleaners at the house today, fellas. So I got kicked out. I got bumped from my humble abode. So hopefully my mic doesn't sound like shit like it did last week.
Nah, it sounds fine. We're going to hear some birds chirping in case you guys aren't ready for Augusta yet. You can
Put you in the
ready.
mood.
Yeah, get ready a little bit this way. We got a lot of shit to talk about this week, boys. How are we feeling today on a Tuesday?
I'm feeling great. Remember when Augusta got popped for piping in bird noises?
Mm-hmm. I do. Yeah. What exactly do you get popped for? Do you just lose public interest, or I don't get it.
I don't know.
Yeah.
What they did shame them? Yeah.
What did PETA come out and say? You need to put
Shame.
more birds in your trees.
Shame.
I think it actually might have been PETA that said the bird noises that were being piped weren't indigenous to Georgia.
Not one person watching the Masters cares. Not one.
Who cares?
Actually, I would like them to increase their bird noises if they could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just puts me in the mood.
Yeah. For some birds baseball.
I'm gonna put you on high alert today, boys. I am drinking coffee, and this usually does not go well for me. I don't drink coffee that often, but I was really in the mood for it today. So if there's multiple me darting off to the right to go to that bathroom I'm currently staring at, just know what I'm doing.
All right, fair enough. We've all had some coffee issues in our lives. Anyway, let's get into the meat and potatoes today. First and foremost, we want to touch on the Maryland stuff before we get into the Orioles stuff, just because a lot of stuff happened in Maryland basketball. Last time we talked, we were talking about potentially going up against Florida and all the rumors swirling about Kevin Willard and everything that's happened. Now we know, obviously, Kevin Willard is going to be the next coach of the Villanova Wildcats. It looks like he told the team via Zoom call. It looks like our top two of our top players, Rodney Rice and Logan Gillespie, are entering the transfer portal. Derek Queen was non-committal when they asked him because he said, well, we don't have a coach now, which he's not wrong. And also our only recruit for the 2025 class, I can't remember his name, has decommitted. So we have basically no basketball team at Maryland, no basketball program, no coach. What do you guys think about this whole situation and how Kevin Willard handled it? I would imagine that the sentiment is not going to be very pretty.
Brooks, you want to attack it?
Yeah, any man that tells his players via Zoom, in a quick call via Zoom, that he's leaving after he lied the entire week and made the entire week about himself, is a piece of trash in my book, and he didn't give a shit about those players. So if you're going to Villanova, why don't you be on the lookout? Why don't you be on the lookout for your kids if your kids are going to Villanova, because he obviously doesn't give a damn about anybody in that program. He got everything he wanted. It sounded like from the release, the press release that came out. I think everybody was on board with what he was asking for at first. And for everything that we know, he got it. And then everything else, the way he handled the situation, I haven't talked to my wife or my kids. Sure looked like his wife and kids on the plane, getting off the plane at the hotel. Were they just staying at a different hotel? Never talked to him the entire time. Okay, dude. And the fact that he left they announced it in the middle of the night to try to skirt everything was even worse. So this was a lesson in PR of everything that you shouldn't do. Yeah.
Brian?
Well, obviously, I feel the same way you guys do, share the same sentiments. But this is exactly what we kind of expected was going to happen. This was going to occur. Then you're going to start to see the mass exodus of people leaving to either go to the NBA. And I saw what Pigtown put down there about their Queen maybe not going. And then guys entering the transfer portal. So I'm not really surprised, disheartened, of course. But it's just a shame because we came from, we grew up with stability in this program with Gary Williams. You knew he wasn't going anywhere. It was Maryland or bust. And now you don't know. College sports are an annual jersey exchange more than the pros are now, which is disturbing. So.
Yeah, I mean, the whole situation sucks. I think Kevin Willard is a clown and a snake. I put that on Twitter for everyone to see the other day. But yeah, I just think the way he handled this was completely wrong. It was the first Sweet 16 that Maryland program has been to in 9 years. It's second in 22 years. And the whole time we were talking about this sideshow circus that was going on between Kevin Willard and Villanova, when we should have been talking about the players in this great team who made an awesome run in this tournament and then just ran into a buzzsaw in Florida. We don't know, obviously, how that Florida game would have gone if the team hadn't been distracted. It would have been nice to see. I don't necessarily know that we could have matched up with them anyway because we went from one of the best rebounding teams in the country to all of a sudden not being able to get a rebound overnight going into the Big Ten tournament. I don't know what happened to Julian Reese and Derek Queen's ability to get rebounds. Maybe they just got gassed because they were playing every fucking minute. But yeah, I just I think it's a goddamn shame for the Terps basketball program, and just the fact that we have no AD, we've got no basketball coach, we've got no players now because half our team is leaving. Derek Queen is going to the NBA, and if he wasn't, then he is now.
Unless the interim AD is going to come in and be like, all right, we're giving you all the revenue sharing money.
Yeah, we'll give you all the football money too. Just stay, please. I don't know. I don't really know what the future of Maryland basketball holds. I know I talked to my buddy Ethan, who's a huge Maryland basketball fan and just a really smart guy in general when it comes to this kind of stuff. And he tends to think that the Maryland basketball program is going to be fine because you can't really, if this kind of thing happens at football, you have so many people to replace, so many moving pieces that it's kind of catastrophic. Basketball, it's not that many players to, and not that many pieces. So he's optimistic that it would be able to get back on its feet quicker. I don't know if I share that sentiment, but I just wanted to, voice a perspective of somebody who's got a positive outlook on this because it doesn't seem like most Maryland fans do at this point.
It's just frustrating that and this happened after the portal's been open for so long. Obviously, players haven't been flying to go anywhere yet because they're probably waiting on some of these Final Four teams to get done to make them offers as well. If they're not already, I'm sure they probably are. Steve Blake, if you guys don't know, Steve Blake did put out a tweet saying that he's up for the challenge.
Grievous did as well.
Grievous as well. I don't know if that's the greatest decision or not. I do like the fact that we would be bringing in somebody who's Maryland blood who would care about the program. But it tends to, and it worked out with Gary, right? Because he played there. But
Gary played an American, right?
Gary played an American.
Yeah, but he was, for all intents, he was a Maryland dude.
Yeah, he was a Maryland.
So, when you hire coaches that played there, a lot of times if you have to get rid of them, it leaves a sour taste in everyone's mouth for a few years afterwards. And you tend to go with your heart a little bit and you give them a little bit more leeway when you probably shouldn't. So that's my only my devil's advocate to bringing in somebody like that. I'd also like to see somebody who's had a little bit of experience. I don't know if maybe Steve has or Grievous has. I'm not really sure. But
this could also be an opportunity to go look at, and I'm just throwing shit against the wall here, maybe the math coach. Someone that's in the lower level, and that's a major high school in the DMV area. That pumps talent out all over the country. Maybe that could be something if that person's even interested. That person also could be 88 years old for all I know.
Yeah.
So
There's a lot of Buzz Williams from Texas A&M talk right now. He's the big name. I saw some Nate Oates rumors. I don't know why Nate Oates would leave Alabama. I don't know why Buzz Williams would leave Texas A&M with all the money that they're giving in the SEC. As our good buddy Sean pointed out the other day, the money down there is just crazy. So I don't necessarily know why they would want to run to the Northeast, especially coming to a program that basically has no assets and a limited amount of NIL money, which is the big reason why Kevin Willard wanted out in the first place. Brooks, you mentioned a couple, bringing in the old player. It's worked for Duke with John Shire, but obviously John Shire
was groomed.
Exactly. He was groomed. He was on the coaching staff with Coach K for a long time. We've seen in Georgetown with Patrick Ewing that go the other way. We've seen in Michigan with Juwan Howard that go the other way. So those things can tend to get ugly. So we'll see. And once again, like you said, Steve Blake, not a head coach that I know of anywhere at any level of basketball. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. I don't really know.
A lot of people bringing up Tony Skinn, I believe his name is, from George Mason.
Didn't he just sign there though? Right?
Well, he just signed an extension, and the play there is that they're gonna have to buy out that extension so the university and he gets paid, which is a smart move. I mean, it's a good business move, but that would make sense. He's ingrained in the DMV area. He's the one who convinced, apparently, and this is from me reading insider stuff, that he's the one who convinced Patrick Queen to go there, to go to Maryland. So I don't know much about the guy. I don't know if he's coached at Maryland before in terms of like the assistant job, but that was interesting to me. There's a ton of I saw a ton of other guys. I also saw Nate Oates came out and said that he's not interested in the job at Maryland because a lot of people were saying that he was disgruntled with the rev sharing of the SEC and Alabama in general. Again, we can say all we want about this. It's going to change here on April 8th or whenever this stuff comes down. It's going to keep changing. So I don't know. I guess to put a bow on this, what Willard did was fucking bullshit. He left us kind of in shambles a little bit because he kind of did this to the program with running him out. And I think he had good intentions at first, I hope. But if he was operating in bad faith, like that was just complete bullshit. But it also could be worse. You could be IU right now and have 0 people on their roster at the moment, which I thought was kind of crazy.
Is that factual?
Indiana University, one of the blue bloods of college basketball.
Because everybody on the roster either graduated or entered the portal after Woodson stepped away. Obviously, they technically have one guy. He's not there yet because you have to go through the process. Like DeVries' son is going to be there. He's going to follow him, obviously.
Yeah.
So
and some guys are going to follow him from West Virginia, I would imagine, right?
Sure, but technically at the moment, I just think it's crazy that there's technically in the NCAA's eyes that there's 0 people on the roster.
Yeah, it's crazy. Okay, I think we've done a good job of wrapping up that part of it. Do you guys want to talk about the Final Four quickly before we get into Orioles stuff, just while we're on basketball?
Sure.
Okay, so Final Four is all chalk. I saw a picture of a guy who gives out picks, and he was just bathing in a bathtub full of chalk. It's a 1 seeds all around: Florida, Auburn, Houston, and Duke. How do we see this going for the rest of the tournament? Who do you like? And what did you see in the last couple rounds? Have you been paying attention since Maryland got knocked out? What have you guys seen? Brian, we'll go to you first, and then Brooks.
I'm going to be pretty bad at this. I've watched very minimal basketball since I watched a lot more baseball.
Fair enough.
So don't really have much on it. I mean, I have Houston over Duke in the for my national championship game, and I have my winner. So I'm still sitting pretty, I think, even though I think Caitlin has overtaken me and our Gary Williams stole my lawn furniture bracket.
Yeah, but I think her championship team in that bracket has been eliminated.
Well, R.I.P.
Yeah,
Brooks,
so,
what do you have on what's going on in the Elite Eight, and what do you have?
I think Houston's been pretty freaking impressive, to be honest.
They kicked the shit out of Tennessee.
Yeah, I kind of think that they could take down Duke, which is
hammer the under.
Yeah, which is tough for me to say.
Why do you like that, Brian?
Houston's #1 defensive team in the country. They match up well with Duke. Obviously, Duke's going to have the best player on the floor, but Houston will have the second best player on the floor in Sheed. So
Yeah.
last name Shea, I forget his first name, begins with J. So and with Houston being locked down, look, just don't let Cooper Flag beat you. And I know Duke has 2 other lottery picks. I'm blanking on their names at the moment. You can't let Cooper Flag beat you. So I like Houston in the game, and I like the under. That's just throwing it out there right away.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I think if anybody was going to do it, it was probably going to be them to beat Duke. I just don't think Auburn has it, even though I haven't picked in one of my brackets. But watching their games, I think the other 3 teams are better. So.
Yeah, I mean, Auburn was the number 1 team in the country for a lot of the season this year, and then Florida kind of took a lot of their momentum when they went on that big run in the SEC tournament. And towards the end of the year, Florida was just excellent. Auburn also had that little injury scare with Broom against Michigan State. I don't really know what his status is going into the next game. It seems like he's going to play and he's going to be fine, but I don't like that their best player is banged up going against this Florida team that is, I would say, the hottest team in the country at this point. So I know it's chalk again. I would think it's probably going to be Florida Duke. I know a lot of people have said that going into the season. Could I see these games going another way? For sure. These are the 4 best teams in the country. According to Ken Palm, out of the number 1 seeds that have ever been in the tournament since he started doing Ken Palm rankings, these are 4 of the top 10 teams that he has ever ranked, 4 of the top 10 1 seeds that he has ever ranked. So he believes, and his algorithm believes, that these are 4 of the best teams that college basketball has had to offer in a really long time. So this should be an awesome Final Four.
Well, how long does that go back? And I'm not knocking him. Just how
I don't know.
20 years?
I don't know exactly. But how long has he been doing it? But he's been a thing 2001. So that's a pretty fair sample size there. That's almost 25 years. So anyway, that's just what the analytics say, is that these teams are excellent. They match up well against each other. Both of those games are going to be on Saturday, and I would imagine the championship game is Monday, probably, right?
Yeah, it's always Monday.
Yeah. It's going to be really awesome to watch. It sucks that the Terps aren't going to be a part of it, obviously, but we've got all kinds of issues in basketball land for Maryland moving forward. Just anybody but Duke, right? Anybody but Duke?
Anybody but Duke.
Anybody but Duke?
I don't even mind Duke that much anymore. They kind of became lovable in a weird way.
Stop that.
I did hear, we talk about the tournament being all chalk, and I kind of like it. These are the teams that deserve to be there. And what other sport do we want the team that isn't the best to win? Other than you've got your homer bias, I get that.
Yeah.
But what NIL and the transfer portal have really done to college basketball is it has taken away the ability of the mid-major to really ever make a run again. Well, because you're plucking the mid-major. But read the market. I mean, you're plucking away the best players from the mid-major teams that now go to the Blue Bloods.
Somebody made a run last year.
Yeah, look, I think it's going to happen.
NC State.
Yeah. I think it's going to happen less and less as we move forward. I can see how it's going to move. It's going to happen less and less moving forward. But I think 1 year sample size is not enough to just say, hey, the ones are going to go every single year. I don't think it's going to be like this every year. And once again, this is an outlier year because all of these ones are so good in comparison to the rest of the country. So,
sure.
I mean, look, I don't necessarily know that I love that particular statement, just because I think it's you need some time to back it up first. But
the transfer portal has really made the mid majors JV teams. Now, they were already JV teams. Now it's just amplified because, as you know, we all played high school baseball. If you were really good, you played varsity, and if you had a half decent year in JV, varsity teams plucking your ass. So. That's really what's occurring now. It's on a much bigger scale.
Yeah, and it's gonna get worse too with with that Vandy quarterback ruling that they made. That's basically said that JUCO didn't count towards anything, giving him more eligibility. That's got to change. That was a bad precedent to set.
That's like the new COVID year shit.
Yeah, I hope that gets rescinded. Maybe not rescinded, but I hope that doesn't become the norm. That was That was bullshit.
Because I think of the lasting effect of that, Brooks. It's okay. His JUCO years didn't mean anything, which means he becomes more of an adult, a man playing against 18-year-olds.
It's a prep school at that point. I mean,
so he's 24 playing against an 18-year-old. I mean, look, Cooper Flagg is an outlier. He should actually be a senior in high school. Can you imagine him in a high school basketball game right now?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my God. I mean, same thing as like Zion. I remember Zion, and I was like, how is this kid? This kid's been dunking on whites forever.
Laura, I'm not going to leave this up for very long. Please don't ever comment that on our show again. I really appreciate that. We don't like the Duke Blue Devils here. Anyway, let's move on from basketball. Yesterday was the home opener, and we haven't talked since the Orioles have started the season. What are you guys seeing from the O's so far? Nice day yesterday at the plates, and really, honestly, a really good start at the plates from pretty much the whole starting roster, except for a couple outliers here. We got to get into a couple injuries. Sugano got pulled from his start early. It looks like he's going to be fine. Cowser, fractured left thumb, sliding into first base. He's going to be out 6 to 8 weeks at minimum, is what Hyde said. It looks like Gunnar Henderson is going to be back on Thursday. At least that's what Hyde is saying. It's trending that way. If he's not at some point this weekend, I would imagine you're going to see Gunnar Henderson, and we don't know if that's going to push Carlson off the roster or what have you. A lot of stuff to take away. Where do you guys want to start? Do you want to start with the pitching staff who's struggling, the starting pitching staff, or do you want to start with the good stuff, start with the bats?
Start with the bad, go to the good.
All right.
Go ahead, Brad.
Bad. Worst news right now is Colton Cowser out 6 to 8 weeks with the left thumb injury. We talked about it at length on our Orioles text thread that we have, the quality hams. It's really frustrating seeing people dive into first base. We've known since I was playing baseball, since I was a little kid, we've known it's not faster. I heard somebody on a podcast saying, I'll start diving into first base when Usain Bolt starts diving across the finish line. You know what I mean? Like, it's slower. Yeah. It's not faster. So stop doing it. And it costs us one of our better players and better outfielders and most versatile players for 6 to 8 weeks. And I know he's trying to be aggressive and make a play. But it just doesn't help the team. And it's a very short-sighted thing to do. What do you guys have on the Cowser thing? Do you think it's a blessing in disguise now? We're going to get Kjerstad some more at bats or what?
No.
Yeah, I think it's good. I don't think it's going to hurt us as bad as you think. And I think it's going to be it's better to happen now than any other time during the year. And we get to get a good look at Kjerstad and some of these other guys to see if they're going to be a good fit. So I think they're going to be fine. I really don't think that's going to be a huge deal. Going back to the diving into first base thing, it's obviously something that we've all been taught since we were in T-ball, not to dive into first base. You're not wearing an oven mitt. We didn't even have oven mitts back when I was playing. I don't know if Dusty did, if they had them yet when you were playing.
They started, but it was like an outliir thing. You'd see them very infrequently.
So I'll say this for anybody who's watching that might have kids that are going into baseball or anything like that. Like, the only time you really should be diving in the first place is if you're reading the first baseman and you see him coming off the bag and he's going to go high for a ball and tag. That's about it. But you're still putting yourself at risk of what Cowser did and having an awkward slide and jamming your fingers, because I mean that's really the only acceptable time to do it, because if not, you can get stepped on. You can get a whole host of things happen when you're sprinting down the line trying to beat a throw.
Even Dempsey doesn't like sliding in first base.
She said,
"Stop being a moron, Colton."
Yeah,
that's what I heard. That's what I heard in Doggy.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't have minded if this was like the World Series and he's going all out, but this is game 4 or 5 of the season. Like, come on.
Yeah. And I mean, look, we've opted for the depth approach to the season. It seems like as the Orioles roster, a lot of people wanted us to trade some of the younger talent and get some top end guys in. It seems like it's working out as of now because, a couple injuries here and there. We need Kjerstad to come in and take some more at bats, and hopefully he can get hot because he's not looked great at the plate, I would say, as of yet. But, small sample size, only 7 ABs. We'll see more of him, more Ramon Laureano, a little bit of Dylan Carlson, I would assume, in the outfield. The other 2 outfield spots have been producing, and let's get into the good stuff here. Tyler O'Neill and Cedric Mullins, the first 2 players to 10 RBIs this season were Aaron Judge and Cedric Mullins. Kyle Tucker actually reached that milestone last night. He's got 10 hits and 10 RBIs already for the Cubs, so good sign for the Cubs trading for him, and he's looking to get paid that contract year for sure. But yeah, how about Tyler O'Neill so far? He's played in 2 opening days so far. He hit a homer in the first one, and then the second one he went 4 for 4. What a stud that guy is, and what a stud that guy's dad is. By the way, remember seeing that guy's dad in Toronto in the stands?
Yeah.
That guy is yoked.
Mr. Canada or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Just a bodybuilding family.
What have you seen out of new addition O'Neill in particular, and then we'll get into Seti and what he's been doing.
I just love the plate discipline. Plate discipline's been great. So I mean that's my one big takeaway. I mean we can sit here and talk all day about we can cherry pick. He's hitting great. Oh, he's doing this great. Plate discipline's been really impressive for me. I didn't see that coming from him.
Yeah, and again, like what Brian said, he's going to go through a slump here at some point. So it's not going to, everyone's super excited about this. Like, let's keep it going. Let's be consistent, stay healthy are the main things. But yeah, super impressed, super happy with what I'm seeing so far. It was really cool too. He was out there. They had the camera on him for opening day yesterday, the home opener yesterday. And he kind of took in the Oriole crowd. You saw him looking around as they started the "Let's Go O's" chant, and he started bobbing his head. So he seemed like he was into it. So I thought that was kind of cool.
Little guy, still tiny.
Fucking jacked though.
Oh, he's yoked.
It's the muscle hamster, baby. Do we need to make a muscle hamster shirt?
No, dude. Doug Martin will come after us if we do that.
But on the other side of things, I am really happy to see Seti get off to a hot start, especially in a contract year. More than likely, we're probably not going to be bringing him back. But he's playing for a contract somewhere else, and I'm super happy with him because, 2 bombs on opening day. He seems more convicted in his swings. So it's great to see, especially if Seti starts getting on base again and we can get him rolling on the base path as well.
Mm-hmm.
That could be pretty dangerous for the Orioles.
Yeah, especially down the lineup. Between what Jackson Holliday and Cedric Mullins have been able to do down the lineup for us, really producing. And if we can get that kind of production out of the bottom half of the lineup, we know the top half of this lineup is always going to produce. With Adley getting off to a hot start as well with 2 homers on opening day, with Gunnar coming back, who just hit a homer in spring training or wherever he's playing in instructional leagues right now, getting ready for the season, and Westberg. Westberg just Mr. Consistent. If he can stay on the field, 3 homers already in the first 5 games. 3 of them in Toronto. Didn't hit one yesterday, but led off with a base hit yesterday after a kind of a shaky start by Povich, and he was able to get out of that first inning. I'm loving the production all around. Ryan Mountcastle keeps breaking his own record for hardest hit ball of the season of his career. He's just smoking balls.
And he doesn't have one out yet, right? I don't think.
No, he doesn't. He hasn't elevated one yet.
He's had a lot of really hard outs too. His average isn't showing very good right now, but he is. Yeah. Him and Seti are both making solid contact. It feels like on everything. Also back to Adley, man. His hands look so much faster this year. Obviously,
McDonald was saying that.
Hand injury last year, but you can really see him getting through the zone on that inside pitch way better because he couldn't hit that for shit last year.
No, he looks slimmer, and they've said it on the broadcast multiple times, so I won't beat a dead horse. He's looked slimmer. He looks just more ready to go. He looks more prepared, and his at bats have been a lot better. So I'm as opposed to the second half of the year last year for Adley, where I think he kind of struggled, but playing with a hurt hand, it's a tough thing to do.
I don't think he kind of struggled. He struggled.
Yeah. He also he picked off a guy the other day at third base. He threw out a couple guys at second base so far. So it seems like the defense is getting better too, as maybe as a result of him getting into a little bit better shape and, having everything at 100%. So if he can get back to where he was the first half of last season and, the season before, putting him in the middle of that order is going to feel a lot better. So it's been great. I've loved the start to the season on the hitting side of things. On the pitching side of things, it's been a little bit more shaky. Povich struggled a little bit yesterday, but had the strikeout stuff working. Brooks, you're the resident pitcher on this podcast. What do you think? What did you see out of Cade yesterday?
I liked it overall. I mean, some mistakes here and there. 2 walks isn't the end of the world, but still, you don't want to see 2 walks through 4 and a third or 2/3.
4 and a third, yeah.
Still not something you want to see, but I said it all last year. He needs to limit the walks, but his stuff does look way better this year. I'm a little iffy. They talked about this and they showed it slowed down on his new grip on his changeup and how it's more of when it comes out of his hand, it's like floating like a knuckleball. Not floating, but the seams are a lot slower. I just hope that's not going to give away anything in terms of people seeing the spin out of his hand or anything like that or looking for it. So far, it hasn't been an issue, but I thought he looked pretty good. Just a couple bad misses to get in the middle of the plate. But that's about it. I thought his stuff looks good. Chris says his new pitch is amazing. It does. It moves great because he wanted more depth on it. It's the spin on it that's troubling to me. But it's the same thing as like a splitter. A splitter kind of does the same thing where it's like the seams for some pitchers, the seams don't move as much and almost looks like a knuckleball-ish with the seams coming out of their hand. So, I mean, if there's enough depth on it and you're fooled enough by it in terms of thinking it's a fastball, it's going to be really hard to lay off of it if you think a fastball is coming and then you see the seams that late.
How hard is that pitch in comparison to his fastball? Because isn't that more of like a forkball kind of thing when it starts knuckling?
Well, I don't know how I'm assuming he's throwing it more like a Vulcan change.
Okay.
It seems like he's still gripping it pretty close to a change-up grip. That's why I don't think it's like a splitter or like a forkball or anything like that. But like a splitter, yeah, it's the same. That's how the splitter comes out.
Okay.
It comes out tumbling like that.
Yeah. Other pitching notes: Zach Eflin, steady Eddie on the first day, 6 innings, 2 earned, 2 hits, only 1 walk. That's exactly what you're going to expect out of Zach Eflin. Dean Kramer gave up 5 hits and 5 earned, but kept us in the game in his start in over 5 1/3. Sugano got pulled after 4 innings. He kind of looked like he was getting hit hard early and then kind of settled in a little bit. But something wrong with cramping in his hands. He seems like he's going to be ready for the next start, so I wouldn't be too worried about that. Charlie Morton's start seemed okay at first and then kind of started to get hit around a little bit. 7 hits and 3 1/3 is not what you like to see, especially when the guy after you, Albert Suarez, gives up 5 hits and 2 2/3 and then goes on the injured list promptly. What do you have any notes on the rest of the starting pitching staff, Brooks? Anybody you really want to talk about in particular?
Sugano looked like it looked like it was nerves. Stuff looked good, just his location and everything like that was not great. But yeah, it was cramping in the hands. Ben was saying it. He was sweating like a pig, like in an indoor stadium up there in Toronto, which I don't know what that was all about. I don't know if that was nerves or not either. But
hungover?
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, right.
I hope.
I hope not too.
I'm not too worried about him. I mean, that seemed very out of character from everything that we've heard from spring training and saw. Too much American. But yeah, that's. It honestly seemed like everybody, even Eflin. Eflin had 2 walks in that game, which is not like him either. It seems like everyone's had a little bit of control issues in the first start, but I mean, it's the first start. It's the first time being back on a mound and in a real live game in probably over 6 months. So, I mean, you got that adrenaline going, you got nerves going. You're probably like your legs are probably shaking a little bit. It's I'm looking for them to settle down here in the next start or two, everybody, because it seemed like everybody's been lacking a little bit of command here and there at times during the game. And I think that was the main thing with Charlie Morton too. I also think we're gonna have to see one more start out of Charlie Morton. But I was saying in the group chat that there's something that seemed like the Toronto hitters were picking up on pretty easily that I noticed as well.
That he was
but
tipping.
But
Okay.
we'll see. We'll see the next start and see if that's what it was or not. Because I can't tell if the hitter can see what I'm seeing from behind. So it's a different
You're looking
angle.
from behind.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's we'll check it out in the next one. Regardless, his command wasn't as good as he normally is either. So I'm looking for everybody to settle down the next start.
The velo, though, was surprising to me. Sitting 95, 96 most of that game.
Top 97. The top I saw was 97. And yeah, mostly from 94 to 96. I saw a couple 93s, which I'm not too terribly worried about. That was towards the end of his before he got pulled, like getting closer to 80 pitches or so, which I think is where he was built up to. I don't think he's built up to 100 pitches or anything like that yet, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
Also, not real promising. You brought up Suarez. Don't love to see him averaging 89. I hope it's just dead arm because that happens at times.
I want to throw something if it's dead arm. No pun intended. That it's the first time out for the season. You can't have dead arm. I get you're building up. I get it.
Dead arm can happen at any time.
We're better. We're so analytical. We better not be having guys that fucking dead arm.
I mean, look, he got put on the 10 or 15 day IL right after the start, and they said it was his lat, right? So
no, shoulder inflammation.
Shoulder, okay.
So hopefully that's not a labrum issue. But a lot of times with that shoulder inflammation stuff, that is dead arm. You can get and Brian, you can get dead arm anytime. It's like even when you're ramping up, it can just like onset, and sometimes it's rest, and sometimes you just need to throw through it. It's a weird thing. As long as you're not hurt, as long as he's not hurt, that's the only thing I'm worried about.
Yeah.
Hopefully that's not a
dead arm like that.
Back to
came up with the term dead arm.
I don't know. We had a pitcher at Calvert Hall when I was there that got it randomly, and he lost a lot of scholarships because of it too, man.
Yeah.
Like that sounds like a real deal, like shitty injury, as opposed to like turf toe, which sounds like you're just pussy, but really that's extreme.
It's the worst. Yeah. You literally ruined Jonathan Ogden's career.
They sent him in to get all this testing done on his shoulder and elbow, and everyone's like, "Is anything hurting?" He's like, "No, nothing hurts. I just can't. I'm trying to work through it." As long as it's not a labrum issue, which sometimes stuff like that can happen where it doesn't really hurt either. That's what I'm kind of knocking on wood. I haven't seen anything to say that he's going to get an MRI or anything like that. So.
Outside of Suarez, the rest of the bullpen's been pretty good. Sir Anthony's got zeros through 2 2/3. Keegan Aiken, same thing. Brian Baker, 2 appearances, 2 2/3, same thing. Matt Baumann going out and doing his thing. Yenny Arcano looks pretty good to start the season. Felix Bautista yesterday and the game before looks like he's a little wild. Looks like he's still ramping up. I saw 96s and 97s out of him. But a lot of stuff, especially yesterday, was just high. Is that he's releasing it too early? Is it something off with his mechanics? Ben McDonald seemed to think it was just a small mechanical adjustment that is needed while he ramps up. What do you think about that, Brooks?
Yeah, just he's flying open, not finishing his pitches. It's an easy fix, and plus it was his first time out, and it's good that the first 2 outings they put him out there in these lower leverage situations where he doesn't have to stress as much.
Yeah.
So, hey, it's our first leverage statement of the season.
Low leverage too, wasn't even
low leverage. Yeah. Running high leverage. We're ramping up to the higher leverage.
I'm everyone gives Hyde a bunch of shit for his bullpen use, but I applaud him for easing him back in like that.
Yeah, I totally agree with you.
Did Hyde eat all the crab dip down in Sarasota, by the way?
Dude, I was watching
body shaming.
I was watching him in a lot.
Like I got a lot of room to talk. I'm fucking wearing periwinkle, man. All right, leave me alone.
I saw the picture of them lined up for the national anthem yesterday, and like Hyde is a big, like tall. I didn't realize he's bigger than like almost everybody on the team, besides some of the pitchers. But,
yeah, he's a big boy.
Only other guy in the bullpen of note that hasn't been pitching well, 1 2/3, 4 hits, 3 runs out of Cionel Perez in 2 appearances so far. I know he gave up a homer in Toronto, and that might be most of the stats there. What do we think about his stuff right now? Do you think that's just early season, too small of a sample to worry about, or
too small of a sample?
He's missing down the middle. He's like everyone has been down the middle.
Yeah, can't be doing that.
That cement mixer, that bomb he gave up was a cement mixer. Like, yeah,
just straight down Broadway.
I'm not reading into velocity that much. I don't care that Charlie Morton's hitting 96, 97 because these guys nowadays. We'll get into the torpedo bench shit in a little while, but these guys nowadays, the velocity, unless it's like 102, it doesn't really mean anything. It really doesn't. I'm sorry. These guys are so jacked up and tuned up to high velocity now. I was doing some stupid reading while, on the throne, if you may. The average fastball miles per hour was 91.2 miles an hour in 2008, and now it is up to like 94.4 or 94.3 as of last season.
Mm-hmm.
So these hitters don't give a shit how fast you're throwing anymore unless you were just going completely over the top, like you're getting a Hicks throwing or then a Aroldis Chapman.
Yeah. Yeah, I tend to agree with that. Anything else on just the Orioles start to the season? Brooke, sorry, guy.
Yeah, one thing about Felix, I know a lot of people they're saying like, oh, his velocity's down. Like he's still throwing 97, 98. That's still good. Like especially, I heard somebody was saying that it's like, well, I mean, his splitter's not going to be as good. Maybe that's why he brought the slider in. His splitter plays so well off of his fastball because his fastball is not great in terms of movement. But he throws it right out of that same slot and that downward angle that it's really hard to tell. At 90, they're like, oh, if you can get it back up to 101, that's going to be even better. I'm telling you right now, it's going to be just fine at 98 as well.
Yeah. Especially with that over the top motion he has for how tall he is and how long he gets down the mound. It's really, really hard to pick up as a hitter. And if you haven't seen live pitching in a long time, it's tough to even think about, but it's just really, really hard to pick up out of the hand.
I mean, how much he shortens the distance based on his arm length, his body style, and then over the top motion.
How tall is he actually?
I want to say 6'8",
6'7" or 6'8". I'm going to look it up now.
But that 2 or 3 feet of not being able to see the ball out of the hand makes a massive difference.
6'8", 285. He's LeBron. He's LeBron sized.
I bet you, like, if he were to stretch out down the mound and like stick his arm out, he could probably almost hit the grass.
He should start watching some Carter Capps tape. See if he can get down the mound a little further. Jump off, yeah.
Jump off the fucking mound or the rubber.
That's so weird.
That's so weird. Brooks had some Carter Capps stories.
Well, I'll tell you.
Anyway,
if the Orioles pitchers could just throw to Rafael Devers the entire time, we'll lead the league in strikeouts.
Dude, I was thinking about making that my that's a shame, but did you guys want to get into that's a shames? Because I feel like we covered the Orioles, and we're probably going to talk more about it, but I think we should talk about the rest of the league a little bit as well. Let's get into a couple of that's a shames because I have a that's a shame from around the league.
All right, fine. You go first. When we get done.
Oh god. Oh god. You look like you're about to go DJ a block party in Vegas.
No, in Dundalk. Awesome.
Nice. My that's a shame is the Milwaukee Brewers. My pick to win the NL Central. They have given up 47 runs in 4 games.
Jesus.
I know a lot of people will say, well, they gave up 20 to the Yankees in that weird game. That's 27 more runs over 3 games. They're getting shelled. What is going on with Milwaukee? I don't know what the hell's going on with their pitching staff. In the last 3 games, they've given up 20, 12, and 11 to the Yankees and the Royals. I know they're playing pretty good teams, but good God, what a disastrous start from the Milwaukee Brewers. That's my.
I have that's a shame. I have two. I'll do one, then let Brooks go ahead. I just touched on it. Rafael Devers. He has 15 strikeouts and 18 at bats.
This guy's got to play some third base. He can't DH. He just can't do it.
Yeah, I mean, just give him one of the big wiffle ball bats, like the old red one that was just huge. Even though he hits the ball, it's just gonna fucking dent the bat. But at least he makes contact, for God's sakes.
By the way, Rafael Devers was one of your home run picks, guy. By the way,
I'm aware.
Just letting you know.
15 strikeouts.
Not looking good. 5 games into the season.
I got a great. My team's got a great start.
He's got 1 RBI.
Over
the course of
a sack fly probably somewhere.
Over the course of the last 5 full seasons, Rafael Devers has hit 32, 38, 27, 33, and 28 homers. So obviously this guy's a really good hitter, but I don't know that I've seen a worse start than this since Chris Davis. This is bad.
That's worse than Chris Davis. 15 for 18 strikeouts. That is insane.
He's got 1 RBI. All right, you got another. That's a shame. You said you had 2.
I'll let Brooks go ahead, then I'll give my last one. And you'll like my last one because it's completely about me.
Well, before we move on, we got to bring up the Tony Gwynn stat about Rafael Devers.
Oh, yeah. You want to go ahead and do that, Brooks?
Yeah.
Tony Gwynn's my favorite player of all time.
So 2025, obviously, we just said Rafael Devers has 15 strikeouts and 19 ABs. In 1995, Tony Gwynn had 15 strikeouts and 585 at Good God.
Holy shit.
Was that guy good at making contact or what?
Oh, Jesus. He's so good.
By the way, our collective that's a shame is Kevin Willard, just the way he handled everything. We kind of thought that was low-hanging fruit, so we're going otherwise. Unless that was going to be your that's a shame.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's an easy one to go for. But my that's a shame. I've been thinking about whether I need to bring this up or not. Is that DJ Pauly D? That's awesome.
Don't wear purple and do that ever again. What do you got, Brooks?
Yeah, I'm still debating whether I should bring this up or not, but I think I will. We're just not going to repost it. My that's a shame is Orioles PR giving the Yankees podcasters and internet guys full access to Adley, Gunnar, Cowser, and Westberg, and doesn't give anybody else in the. I'm not saying we deserve it. We definitely do not.
Yeah,
we definitely do not.
Careful.
We definitely do not. We definitely do not deserve to have that kind of access. But I know there's plenty of other Orioles internet podcasts that do. So that's a shame.
All right,
fair enough.
Hey. This isn't my that's a shame. I mean, well, let me get this that's a shame out of the way now because this is apropos given how I look at the moment. Next week, just getting it out of the way now.
Same Joe.
I will be going. Katie and I are going to St. Thomas, and so I will be going fake tanning 3 or 4 or 5 times next week. So just getting my aura ready, getting my skin ready for the fake tanning. Coming this way.
Why?
Because I'm Polish, so I burn. So I go red to white. And when you're in St. Thomas for 5 days, I don't want to be a lobster.
You're gonna burn with a fake tan too. It doesn't stop it.
Girl, I need a base layer. All right, I need a base layer. All right, I need to be
a base layer.
You're gonna look orange, and if you wear that purple shirt with it, you're gonna look like an Oompa Loompa.
You got spray tan? Let's go full spray tan.
Good luck.
Oh man, you're gonna look ridiculous.
I can't.
It's gonna be great.
I'll come on the podcast.
Yeah.
Don't wear white; it'll get all over your shirt.
I know.
All right. Yeah. Is that it for our "That's a Shame" segment?
No. Well, yeah, that's it for "That's a Shame." But also, just
almost dropped my phone.
Look, I don't know. I'm happy that this guy lives in Canton where I live, but you can't be putting out where people live on broadcast television.
Yeah.
You can't be putting out where Kevin Brown lives.
Jim Palmer just really really blew up his spot there.
Yeah. Hey, man.
I mean,
Look, I'm
that
sure
made me
people have
cringe.
seen him around town and people know.
I'm sure.
But it's
I'm sure. But you can't say it on
shouldn't be saying
the
that on the
national
broadcast.
television.
I mean,
TV.
like, what is he, 80 years old, Jim Palmer? I know he holds it well, but come on, give the guy a break. He spent a lot of time at Tamimos. Anyway, let's move on. Around the league, biggest news over the course of the weekend was these torpedo bats that the Yankees have been employing. I know that there was some guys using them last year, and there's some other guys now around the league using them, most notably Ellie De La Cruz, who hit 2 homers and had 7 RBIs in his first game with the torpedo bat last year. It is completely within the rules as of now. I can see the MLB taking action against it. I don't really know if they will or not. What do you guys think about them in general? And Brian, you go first. You have something to say.
They MLB approved these bats, so it's not like they're caught off guard by this bat.
Yeah.
So we got to start there.
Some guy from MIT, right?
Yeah. So
some engineer.
He was with the Yankees, and he went to the Marlins when Derek Jeter went and bought into the Marlins. And I'm gonna make this comment. You guys disagree with me if you want. If the Marlins were doing this with these bats, no one gives a shit. But it's the damn New York Yankees, and that's what's happening. I'm not against them. I did pose the question to you guys in Pigtown over the weekend. You know, is this something that's going to change baseball? Are they going to take action? Are they going to make a change? And you guys basically told me to shove it, and that's fine. That's what I wanted to hear, honestly. So and they look funky. They look funky, but
they look weird. The only way I think that they get taken away or nerfed to a certain extent is if people get hurt because of the exit velocities being too high. That's the only thing I can think of, but I don't think that's going to happen because it's not like it's that abnormal. Brooks, what do you have on this?
Yeah, it's within the rules, so I could care less. And I said it in the group chat. I'm surprised it's taken this long for people to start tinkering with bats like this much. I'm sure they have a little bit, but like to this extent. The only storyline here to me is like I just want to swing one. I want to see how it feels.
I want to swing one too. Yeah. And the only thing I can really remember being tinkered with the bat in recent years is the other than changing to maple, because it used to be ash all the time, but is that
well, you can still use ash, I think.
The axe handle at the bottom.
Yeah,
that's the one
O'Neill uses it.
I remember.
Yeah, some people use that.
Yeah,
that's the only time I can really remember a bat being tinkered with. But I would like to swing one because I'll bet money that because the barrel is longer, because there are there's barrel restrictions. No part of the bat can be more than like 2 6/8 inches. I'm making up that 6/8 part, but it's 2 and some odd inches in diameter. So like it's within the rules, but I will bet money as a former hitter that when you swing that thing, the head speed is so much more ridiculous. It's like having a weighted driver. In golf, you're going to get more whip action.
I'm just wondering, like, if you hit it, so the barrel is bigger. If you hit it off the end of the bat, because it looks like the end of the bat is a little bit smaller than it normally would
narrows.
Be. It like, are you going to see those like, hey, we're gonna hit it off the bat, but off the end of the bat, we're gonna muscle it over the second baseman's head, or is that just going to go right into the second baseman's glove? I don't know. Is there a disadvantage for not hitting it on the sweet spot with this bat? I assume there is, correct?
There's got to be. The way that thing.
That's why I want to swing one.
It goes up and then it narrows, and if you hit really that thing on that end, I bet you the spin on that thing is going to be you're going to see cue balls out there.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if this messes with the drop on it, the swing drop. I could see that.
You're talking about bringing the head down?
No, you know how like on like aluminum bats, you can only have a drop 3, like a -3.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So back in the day, before it was -3, like you could go down to like -5 in some of those aluminum bats before they put regulations and restrictions on it.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering with like how this is made, it messes with the drop weight at all, which speeds up your swing, essentially. Yeah. So I'm wondering about that a little bit. I don't know. Again, haven't swung one. I haven't seen any of the metrics or anything like that on it. I do want to listen to the guy. To my knowledge, I haven't heard him be on a podcast yet, but I do want to listen to this guy who invented it, like talk about the bat and what he's found with it.
And think about it from this perspective as a hitter. Don't you think this would make you want to have a longer bat? So if you already swing a 33, wouldn't you want to go to a 35? Because you get a longer barrel, you get a longer sweet spot.
Big Town says it still has to be a drop too. So I'm wondering, but I'm still wondering if if it plays with that at all, like, and how you measure that with like your swing speed and everything. So I'm wondering.
It has to be at least a drop 2. Like, could it be a +3? Could you swing a 33-inch bat with 36? That's 36 ounces.
Yeah, but why would you?
I mean, some guys just prefer heavier bats. I know, like Alfonso Soriano used a really big, heavy bat. Like some guys just prefer.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. It's still going to be like that same drop in a sense. It's dependent on how the weight is distributed in the bat.
Okay.
As well.
You can still go plus all you want. That makes
just nothing
sense.
under -2. Okay, I like that. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I know the one theory behind this is trying to put all the hardest wood into a spot, or into a longer spot as well, because that makes sense, right? You want the hardest part of the bat to hit the ball. Yeah. That's why people look for knots in their bats and everything like that, and pieces of wood. So.
And for those of you guys that don't know what the hell we're talking about with drops and all this stuff, it's the difference between the length of the bat and the weight of the bat.
Yeah.
So you can't have a 36-inch bat that's 29 ounces.
That's a drop 7, and that's illegal.
That's illegal.
Yeah, you swing that way too fast and kill people with that.
Yes.
But yeah, it's interesting, the conversation. I think a lot of people need to get rid of the whole the Yankees are cheating. This is well within the rules. They're doing everything they can, and obviously they have one of the best lineups in the league because of what they've been doing to the baseball. It's been pretty crazy. I've made better, harder people right in the streets, but
I hate every bone in your body except mine.
Jesus. Yeah. Anything else around the league you guys want to?
This is a good explanation with why some of these are cupped and why some aren't.
This is going to be super nerdy inside baseball to you guys who aren't super into this, but anyway,
I hated the M110 Pigtown. That was like my least favorite style bat.
And then where do you get one of these? Can you go to Dick's and
MIT.
buy one? I'm asking.
MIT.
MIT. Oh,
yeah.
Just take a stroll on MIT's campus.
Yeah.
I've only seen Louisville Slugger making them. I haven't seen anybody else make them yet.
I'm sure they're going to be in.
Oh yeah, without doubt, they're going to be the hottest things in pants and pockets.
It's like when White Claws came out, and every Corona had a seltzer, and Bud Light had a seltzer, and everyone has a seltzer now. You
remember that White Claw YouTube video? A White Claw sounds rich.
Yeah. Big news from around the league. Boston Red Sox pitcher Garrett Crochet, who they traded for this offseason, got a 6-year, $170 million extension. We were all kind of expecting him to get this before the season started. I guess it's better late than never, whatever. He looked good in his first outing, I believe, with the Red Sox. What do you guys think this means for the Red Sox? Is this just going to be Chris Sale 2.0 for them?
I love this deal. God, Joe Racky is just
Joe. You actually get the worst cuts of wood at Dick's, actually. I know you're doing a play on words right now, but Dick's has a terrible wood bat selection.
I love this deal, not because it betters the Red Sox, but because it sets a precedent for other pitchers that are going to get signed down the road. And that could probably help.
Yeah.
That's Brooks. The first thing I thought of when I saw the deal.
Brooks, do you have a take on it? Pretty standard?
It seems like a good deal for the Red Sox, to be honest. We'll see. I mean, it's a wait and see.
Yeah. Little less than 30 a year.
Can he stay healthy? You know what I mean? It's kind of going to be a wait and see. But I mean, from everything we know right now, it seems like a good deal for the Red Sox.
Yeah. Other news, just to go through quickly, Freddie Freeman apparently slipped in the shower and is going to miss a couple days. He missed the Dodgers game yesterday. Really weird, but he's an old man. Carson Kelly, catcher for the Cubs, is the first MLB player to hit for the cycle in March. Nobody's ever done that. He did that yesterday. That's pretty cool.
That's pretty sweet.
Something to note because Carson Kelly's been around for a long time, played for the Diamondbacks for a while, and just a guy you don't really hear about very often. So good for him. Big news, Jurickson Profar who was a big time signing for the Atlanta Braves this offseason. Obviously had his big breakout season with the Padres last year after being a hugely highly touted prospect. Had a slow start to his career, but had a real big breakout with the Padres last year. He gets an 80-game suspension for PED violation. And I believe this means that he's not available for the playoffs. Did I read that correctly?
He cannot play in postseason play.
Is that a new rule? Is it your first pop? You get 80 games and you can't play in the playoffs at all? That's crazy to me.
They redid this in Pigtown. Is Dempsey killing a squirrel right now? What is happening?
No, she just makes funny noises.
Okay. So do I. But no, this is something in Pigtown. Correct me if I'm wrong, man, because you're way more in tune with rules changes than we are. But like maybe 2-3 years ago, they upped the ante on the steroid stuff, the PED stuff, and this was one of the things that was passed. And for this to get passed by the Players Association, which is well known to be one of the best unions in the world, says that the players are kind of getting sick of these guys juicing as well.
Let them juice.
Let him juice.
Let them juice.
He's been watching a lot of Barry Bonds videos, and he just wants that guy back.
I mean, what's his name? Trump Jr.'s just like he just invested a bunch of money into that steroid. Basically, the Olympics with steroids, which is ridiculous. But
yeah,
why does that seem like a Chappelle Show skit?
I know it really does. It does. It does.
I just think this is a huge blow. I mean, they signed this guy for quite a bit of money in the offseason. Expected him to be a big part of their lineup and a stalwart going into the postseason. And obviously, this is a team that has hopes of winning a World Series. They got there a couple years ago, and they've been one of the better teams in the league. I know last year they struggled, but their top two players got hurt in the first week of the season. I think this is a huge blow to the Braves lineup and gives them a lot less versatility because Profar can play all over the field and he's a switch hitter. It sucks. And he's probably not going to be the last guy who gets popped. I agree with $3 million deal.
I agree with Pigtown here. I think that they need to loosen the restrictions a little bit, especially for some recovery steroids and stuff like that. I mean, why not? There's a lot of research out now on a lot of different stuff that it's not as terrible for you as you think. But especially if you're using it for recovery, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just really don't think that steroids make that huge of a difference. But that's just me.
I mean, for careers
they can when abusing them, I should say.
Yeah. And that's the thing, I think, like, where do you draw the line with this kind of stuff for recovery and for guys who are just trying to use it to get a competitive advantage? I think that's what a lot of people's arguments are. Yeah, for sure.
You can kill yourself.
Yeah. And if you're using all that shit, then yeah, maybe you shouldn't be allowed to do that. But if you just got ankle surgery and most people who get ankle surgery are taking steroids to get through it in the real world, you know what I mean? I don't think that's that crazy.
People in this professional sports world, people are going to look for any edge they can possibly get. If that means juicing up to an unhealthy level, then someone ends up dying from it.
Yeah, I don't hate this at all, Pigtown either.
But you're going to have to put some sort of dosage restrictions on it as well.
Yeah. And how do you test that? Do you have to test players every week? Is that going to be a big?
Or there's going to have to be, or there's going to have to be like an MLB representative there whenever it's administered.
Yeah. Just a lot of.
I mean, they do that for all the testing in the NFL when you go into the substance abuse program. Like they waste a ton of money just going around piss testing people. So
yeah. Speaking of the NFL, a lot of stuff happened in the NFL today. You guys want to transition off of baseball to the NFL with some of this owners meeting stuff that's been coming out?
Yeah.
Is there any other? Before we do NFL, I'm just going to go into college real fast.
Go ahead.
That was awesome part of the week. The Coastal Carolina Chanticleers.
Love it. Have a shirt.
Oh, by the way, they lie because they're not actually on the coast. Just going to throw it out there. But it's a really nice school. I've been there a couple times. They are allowing free concessions of to all their fans who buy a ticket, you have to scan an app every single time you go up to the concession stand, and you get unlimited, but you can only get 4 items at a time. So you can go up, get 4, go back, eat them, back up, get 4 more. But you can get unlimited soft drinks. I guess it's 5 technically. Water, popcorn, nachos, and hot dogs throughout the duration of the game. So unlimited eats, basically.
What do you think is going to be the record for most hot dogs eaten by one person in this stadium?
Well, Drew Burton has never been to Coastal Carolina, so maybe we can get him down there.
Yeah, maybe Delaware Dave too. Those are some hot dog eating fools.
Speaking of, we need to set a date for the 999 challenge.
Yes, we do.
Brian.
99.
99.
The hot dog outfit is right behind me. I'm not even kidding.
Yeah, I did see that. I didn't read into it, but thank you for giving us information on that. That's pretty awesome. Good for Joe as well. Arkansas Razorbacks baseball ranked number 2 in the country. Well deserved after the start that they had, a 20-2 start. I don't know what they've been doing the last couple of weeks, but all right. A couple things in the NFL just quickly because we're getting into draft season a little bit and the owners' meetings are taking place. NFL owners tabled the voting on the tush-push ban, so they're going to be meeting again in May. I believe, I guess that they're tabling this vote because they couldn't come to a consensus on it. So they're going to be talking about this again. It's a potential that the tush-push could be banned going into the next season. I would doubt that it will be. Not 100% sure. What did happen though is the kickoff. There's some kickoff changes, some replay rule changes, and some OT changes. So in OT, a couple years ago, they changed after that famous Bills Chiefs game. That was crazy. They changed the rule so that in overtime, both teams have a chance to possess the ball in the playoffs. They have now extended that to the regular season. The only difference between the playoffs and the regular season is that it will be a 10-minute overtime. In the playoffs, they keep playing until somebody wins because there can't be ties in the playoffs. But in the regular season, it'll be a 10-minute period. Both teams will have a chance to possess the ball. And then a couple other changes. The kickoff, the touchbacks will be received at the 35-yard line as opposed to the 30-yard line. And they've tabled the onside kick discussions because they've talked about changing that because the onside kick was basically nullified in the NFL last year. And then there's some replay assist review stuff. So I guess they're gonna be permitted to reverse flags that were thrown on defensive players, along with fouls of face mask, horse collar, tripping, running into / roughing the kicker. It looks like they're going to be able to replay officiate those as of now. What do you guys think?
Does it say anything about contact to the head?
It says defenseless receiver, but no, not contact to the head. I don't know, obviously, if they're still negotiating this because they have more owners' meetings to go before the season starts. So I'm not 100% sure. What do you think about the overtime rules changing, and what do you take away from just this information in general so far? Do you like it?
All encompassing. I like everything. I mean, this is stuff that people have been clamoring for a long time. Why not?
Seems like a no-brainer. And I really like that they brought the. I mean, I know it's 5 yards, but I mean, they should make it a little bit more of a penalty than what it was to kick it out the back of the end zone, which I'm glad they brought it to 35 now.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have really much to say or to add. I think most of this stuff is good. It's streamlining the game. It's making it a little bit better. I'm worried about the NFL being able to review penalties. The game doesn't need to be any slower than it is, but also a lot of these penalties are huge problems, and they're trying to, weigh how the product looks on TV versus how they want the gamblers to react when certain things happen. So that you have to take that into account now, especially with the NFL being sponsored by all of these gambling websites. And it's just a huge ordeal. So they have to get these calls right, but also the game slows down a lot. If you watch the NCAA tournament this year, you know what we're talking about. They rule every out of bounds play, every 1 second on and off the clock. It's pretty frustrating, to be honest with you. And it really slows down the game. So it gets annoying. And I'm just worried that that this will eventually lead to the game just becoming so slow that it becomes.
Well, I think we talked about this last year. They just need to have somebody up in the booth, like at least like an overarching official. Yeah, I mean, and they did it. They do it
just
for
make a
during
fucking
the
call.
game. Well, they do it during the game all the time, where like somebody radios down and say, "Hey, that call was wrong." Like reverse that call. Like it should be as simple as that. We don't need to take a couple minutes to go look at it and replay and everything like that. There should just be somebody up top and be like, "All right, we're reviewing that play," and then they radio down like, "Hey, yeah, that was correct or that was incorrect."
This is two things, and Brooks said you both hit them on the head. I'll see you first. Gambling absolutely made this change happen. We can all act like it didn't. It did. I'm sorry.
No.
Second, the Sky Judge, which we talked about before. This is an absolute use of watching the USFL or the XFL or whatever the hell it is, the USXFL. This is them instituting something, and then the NFL watching it, see how it worked, and then move it into the NFL, just like they did with the spider cam, that cam that's above everybody on the field.
Kickoff.
Yeah, this is watching it work, and what they're going to do is with the Sky, if they have the Sky Judge, you'll get a quick, easy thing, goes into the head referee's ear, and then he can make the call right then and there. He doesn't have to, hit his button or his buzzer and talk to the line judge or back judge. He's going to get something right in his ear right away, and then here we go. It's off and running. Unlike the NBA, where they still run over to the fucking TV, and they got one of them old school rolly ball mouses, and they're going back and forth. That's stupid.
It's ridiculous.
It's got to stop. That's got to stop.
Yeah. Other proposals that didn't go through, the Lions proposed a couple things that I thought were interesting. They wanted to eliminate the automatic first down for defensive holding and illegal contact. That did not pass. Also, the Lions wanted to make playoff seeding based on regular season records as opposed to division championships. Apparently, that will be tabled for further discussion. Interested by those, not 100% sure. And also, a couple other teams looking to expand the IR rosters and stuff like that. But
I think it was because of last year's
major.
Like we all said, like, oh, it would have been nice if they reseeded after this or something.
Yeah.
Because the Vikings were the 5 seed and the Lions were the 1 seed, and they had the best records in the NFC.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I just don't. I don't know if that's going to be an outlier or if that's going to become more of an issue. But maybe reseeding's the answer. I don't really know.
Yeah, hockey started reseeding, and I don't know if people love it. So I don't know if they look at that kind of thing. I'm not 100% sure, but
I mean, you should.
Yeah. You should look at every available thing, but. Only other thing I had football wise was Bill Parcells is going into the Patriots Hall of Fame, long overdue and well deserved. Good for Bill Parcells. Going into the Patriots Hall of Fame. I know him and Kraft have had an up and down relationship, so good for them for getting that taken care of. And Bill Parcells, obviously one of the best coaches of all time. So
and doing it before it's posthumous. Definitely doing it before it's posthumous.
Yeah.
Not to me personally, but I can assume that it's a big deal to people in New England and to the Parcells family.
Yeah.
And everyone from his coaching tree. Now, I got 2 more things. One's a little off the radar. The Jets are definitely making a culture change. Obviously, they brought in Aaron Glenn. They got rid of the previous coach. And they offered 170 buyouts to internal staff throughout the entire building.
I saw this.
They are trying to get leaks out of the building. This stems from Aaron Rodgers, who said that there was a lot of leaks in the building. This is also has to do with the culture change because Woody Johnson got an F, and he was ranked the 32nd out of 32 owners by the players. So the Jets are offering these buyouts to basically clean house all around, not just what you see on camera and on the field, but in the background to get this shit out of their building. This is probably going to take a year or 2 to really take effect, but good for them. Good for trying something different.
Yeah.
Just turns out Rodgers did something good for that organization.
No shit.
Because I mean he's notorious for like he doesn't tell anybody except for like maybe 1 or 2 people in his closest inner circle about what's going on. He doesn't want anybody to know what's going on.
Yeah. And so when I say the number of 170, to put into context, there are only 248 employees of the New York Jets. So that's a massive number. They're like, hey, get the hell out of here, basically.
Yeah, good.
Then second has to do with Aaron Rodgers, and this is he's throwing balls with DK Metcalf in LA. Let's just call a spade a spade. He's going to be a Pittsburgh Steeler.
We see what's happening here.
Yeah, it's just a matter of time, right?
I can connect dots.
Yes, I do. And then this goes along with Dusty. It's kind of make Dusty feel really good. I think Monday Night Raw is in Pittsburgh on the 9th of this month. And wouldn't it be just very coincidental if Aaron Rodgers just happens to come down the tunnel and announce he's a Pittsburgh Steeler?
That'd be awesome.
Can you imagine?
I'm just
what a circus that guy brings with him.
Connect the dots here. He hasn't announced anything. The door is open. He just doesn't want to walk through it, but he's throwing to DK Metcalf. I mean, he's already met with Mike Tomlin. He's probably spent the night at his house, bottom bunk.
I think that would be awesome. I think that'd be funny as shit, actually.
He just comes out the Renegade. That's, by the way, that is one thing. This just popped in my head out of nowhere. The Steelers have a kick-ass. I don't know if you guys ever been to a Steeler game at Pittsburgh. When they play Renegade, that place goes fucking crazy. The Ravens don't have anything like that. Don't give me that Seven Nation Army bullshit that every soccer team plays over in England. Yeah. Give me something that God, bring me Omar. I just want Omar walking out one time.
Speaking of Omar, I heard the reception for Felix Bautista with the Omar whistle yesterday was fucking awesome at Camden Yards. I wasn't there, obviously, and they don't show everything on TV, but I've heard from people who were there saying Felix Bautista got a crazy awesome entrance, and it looks like it's on the Twitter machine, so I'm going to be watching that after this.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah,
hopefully I get to see him tomorrow. I'm going tomorrow with Katie, so I can't.
Hell yeah!
And wait to get back in the ballpark.
Hell yeah! Obviously, Orioles have an off day today. They will be resuming the series against the Red Sox tomorrow, and then they will be traveling to Kansas City, I believe. Kind of a gauntlet to start the season, but that's baseball. Yeah, you guys want to get into the snake draft? Any housekeeping stuff? I know Ovi's 5 goals away. They play the Boston Bruins tonight, so we're going to keep an eye on that. Hopefully he's able
games left.
Huh?
How many games are left?
So there's about 8 or 9 games left. So 5 goals, 8 or 9 games. He's going to have to get hot.
And they don't include playoff goals.
No, they don't.
No.
Other housekeeping is it sucks to see that they basically came down to the conclusion of how Brett Gardner's son passed away.
So carbon monoxide.
Carbon monoxide. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
that just stinks.
Same way that Gene Hackman passed away, more than likely.
Yeah.
Really?
A lot of weird stuff with that. Other than that,
I have 2 housekeeping things. One, become a Huckleberry. If you want to live look in at the 999 challenge when we do that. And we always go live on there, usually at least once a week, just for the Huckleberries, just kind of like a hangout deal. And also, giveaway is on Twitter. Well, it's actually on Instagram, I should say. So go on Instagram, enter that giveaway, and we'll be sending somebody a hat here soon. So those are the only 2 housekeeping things. Dempsey's.
Sounds like all hell's breaking loose over there.
Every dog that walks by, she's barking at right now.
Did want to say this last week, but I forgot. Victor Hovland won the golf tournament 2 weeks ago, the Valspar Championship. His season up to that point was miscut, T22, miscut. And he won the golf tournament. Pretty crazy shit. Good for Victor Hovland. Just not in all kinds of weird, wacky sorts right now. And good for Minwoo Lee, who basically ran away with the golf tournament. I say ran away, but it got a little close at the end. Scheffler and Gary Woodland coming from behind to try to catch him. And really, that was awesome. Gary Woodland competing in golf tournaments after only a couple years ago, having brain surgery to remove lesions from his brain.
What did he finish?
He finished tied for second with Scotty Scheffler, 19 under. Minwoo won at 20 under. So good for Gary Woodland as they prepare for the Masters next week. Hopefully he can earn his spot into the Masters. His 5-year window after he won that U.S. Open at Pebble is ending this year. So he is not in all the majors moving forward. So he needs to earn his way in, and really just awesome feel-good story for Gary Woodland because everyone's rooting for that guy.
There was one guy who played in the Houston Open who he beat out some other dude. Like they weren't going head to head, but he finished ahead of him and he qualified for the Masters over the other guy. And
wow.
That's like, it's such a, I think the Masters only takes top 50.
Top 50 official, and then there's invites. So it's all the guys who have won previously.
Amateur.
And then some the amateur, the reigning U.S. junior amateur, and then a couple of select invites, which is going to go to the live, a couple of the live guys, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know if you saw this.
We're on golf right now. Are you still going on golf?
Yeah.
Live. We need to talk about this at some point. Maybe the boys, you two need to come out for the live event here in Indiana. We do a show from here.
That'd be fun.
I don't like live, so I'm probably out on that. But anyway, I did think it was weird. Cam Smith's got some sort of a toe injury, and he was supposed to play like a content creating thing with Fat Perez. And so Cam Smith has now withdrawn from the tournament and subsequently the content thing. So he's that's apparently what's going on. Apparently he's letting Fat Perez take his place in the live tournament, and he's going to get cooked by that golf course. I don't know if this is 100% sure, but I've seen it.
What today is?
Oh, yeah, you're right. Fuck.
Did you get?
Yep. Come on.
I got April Fool's.
Did you get?
I got April Fool's.
Come on, dude.
Look, the live tournament is the live circuit is such a joke that I actually believed it. So that's what we got going on here. Anyway, it is April Fool's Day. I'm sorry, guys. I'm fucking stupid. Anyway, let's get into our snake draft, and our snake draft today is best ballpark foods, media assets. Where are you at?
But by the way, I see something new every single time I watch that. This time I didn't even look at us. I looked at the text or the script that's on it's like in French. Whatever's written on those newspapers.
Oh man. Okay.
Transition in the game.
Today's snake draft is going to be best ballpark foods. And I haven't asked you guys, do beverages count?
I don't think so. It's food.
I don't think so, because beer is going to be number one. When's the last time you ate a beer? All right. Yeah, no beverages, I guess.
Food, and I put desserts. I put some sweets on there because that's food.
Yeah, desserts I think are fair. Yeah. But snacks, foods, that kind of stuff. I got some snacks on here for sure.
I got specialty ones, like the ballpark specialty things as well, which if you want to pull them up as we go along with them, please feel free. That way people can feel much better about their diets. Because when you see these things, you absolutely want to vomit how large and disgusting these are.
Yeah. And also how difficult it would be to eat in a baseball seat, in a baseball game. Anyway, Brooks, do you know who won the snake draft from last week? Did you see the results?
It was all tied last I checked, so I need you to look it up right now.
Okay, I can do that. And how do I look at that?
By the way, while we're vamping here, went up to Mountain Branch, hit some golf balls the other day. By the way, if you're around here in the Baltimore area, Baltimore County area, Hartford County area, please go to Mountain Branch Golf Course. Great golf course, semi-private, great food, great clubhouse. It's a good time all around. Went to the driving range, had a blast. First time out there, I'm hitting chili peppers and shanking everything all over the damn place. But it was good to swing the sticks again for a little bit with some nice weather. It's a little cold here today. I think that Indianapolis weather made its way to Baltimore.
Yeah, I mean, we had like an 80-something degree day a couple days ago, and then yesterday was cold as shit. Today it's a little chilly. We're gonna get up in the 50s again today, but I don't know what's going on.
It looks like
this is that time of year.
It looks like you two tied for second, and I got one more vote than both of you.
Well, that's
based
good.
on I guess because I just picked the more recent guys. Honestly, I thought Brian was going to run away with that one.
All right, that's
But anyway,
fine. Well,
not a ton of votes on that snake draft. Guys, come on and vote. It's not that hard.
vote, motherfuckers.
Just vote.
All right, so
okay.
Dustin, you pick where you want to go, and then because
Yeah,
Brooksy and I tied, you pick where him and I pick.
Yeah, I want to go number 1. Brooks went second both snake drafts last week, so let you go second, and then let Brooks go third here. So I'm going to go first, and easily the number 1 ballpark food is hot dog.
It's a hot dog.
It's not close. It's hot dog, and I wanted it, so I picked number 1.
Yes.
He says, Joe Racky says no specialty items. Do whatever you want, Brian. Don't listen to Joe.
Joe, there's just not enough ballpark foods for all of us to draft 15 of them.
Well, I got like 15.
Whoa. Okay. All right. I can. All right. Damn it. I'm screwed. All right. Look, I'm an Oriole guy. And we're all Orioles guys. It's Boogs. It's Boogs
Yeah.
Pit Beef.
Boogs Pit Beef was on my list, and it was number 2. I thought there was a chance you guys weren't going to pick it, but I figured you would. But
I was going to take that too.
Taking hot diggity dogs over that. Brooks, you get 2 in a row here. What are your 2 stadium foods here?
I am going to take nachos and peanuts.
Nachos and peanuts are the best 2 remaining, I would imagine, in my opinion. What's your? Do you get the jalapenos on your nachos when you go? Do you get the salsa on the one side and the cheese on the other side? Mix them together? Hell yeah.
Got to. I don't mix them together.
I kind of just grab whatever they give me. They're really like preset. But they have because now after COVID happened, they have those little cups that go in there. Yeah. So whatever the hell they hand me, I take.
Yeah. All right, Brian, you get one here. What do you got?
I'm gonna go with the old soft pretzel.
Soft pretzels. Okay. Not a ballpark food I go for often, but I do love them. Especially
I just specifically handheld shit. I don't want to actually be holding when I get my pit beef, I just literally get the sandwich. So I don't like having to hold the tray. So if I get a ballpark pretzel, I'm good to go. For God's sakes, it's called a ballpark pretzel.
All right. I'm going to go with sunflower seeds as my number 2, although they are a little more difficult to eat in the stadium because you don't want to spit on the people in front of you.
I know. That's a problem.
Yeah, you need a cup. You need a cup or a bottle.
Here and spit into your cup, yeah. But I'm a big sunflower seed guy, especially on the golf course. I love sunflower seeds.
Oh, what's your flavor sunflower seed, guys, before you pick again, Dusty?
Ooh, I switch it up. I always go different. If I had to pick one, probably cracked pepper. I love
cracked pepper. See, it's cracked pepper.
It's so
good. Yeah, it's either that or I love the ranch one, but you can only eat so many of them.
Yeah. I like ranch barbecue original. They used to have one called jalapeno hot salsa that was so good. I don't know if they make it anymore.
Is that from David's?
Yeah, it's from David.
David's and Biggs.
I'm David brand loyal. We got into it. We got into Biggs for a little while, but
I haven't had sunflower seeds in a while, actually. Now I'm craving them.
It's good seed spitting weather. Cool, breezy. All right, I'm gonna go chicken tenders, I guess, for my number 2 here. Just they're so easily accessible and they're excellent, no matter what shape, size, form, whatever. So give me sunflower seeds and tendies. Brian, you are up.
All right, I'm going back to my childhood days. My dad used to get this for me all the time. The little mini helmet ice cream.
I was so close to picking the ice cream helmet, dude. I had it. It was either that or tenders.
Brian's been taking all my next picks.
Yeah, ice cream helmet. Yeah, that was good.
That was good. Got to. I remember we used to try to collect all the different ones, all the different mini helmets.
Yep.
Oh yeah. So I went to yesterday. I did an event for Chesapeake Wine Company, helping out my friend Kim Bosley, and when we got there, all the tables that were set up, we were just handing out wine and letting people taste them. And they had all these little mini helmets, and all I wanted was just a scoop of ice cream, just dollop in that bad boy, with some fudge, some hot fudge caramel, and some whipped cream, some chocolate jimmies.
God, I haven't eaten yet today. I'm getting so hungry now.
He's gonna get some
lunch
right
after this.
Is there a concession stand you can go to near you?
Yeah.
I
I think you
wish.
got is that Sun King behind you there, Brooks?
Yeah.
I was gonna say he's right next to Fork and Ale. Shout out Fork and Ale and the meatballs.
Yeah,
Really
Fork
good.
and Ale. You go to Carmel, Indiana. You go to Fork and Ale. You go to Sun King. You go to what's that place? Is it Bubs? That
Go
we
to
went
the Goat.
with Banksy.
The goat.
I thought about doing the
yeah.
podcast from the goat today, but
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Shit.
All right, Brooks, you get 2 in a row here. What do you got?
Yes, Joe, Italian sausage does count. That's going to be one of my picks.
Yeah, I was really hoping you guys missed that because I thought I was going to be able to get that late. Damn.
And my other one's going to be the crab fries at Oriole Park.
Krabby fries. That's a great answer. I thought you might go with the Krabby Dog via Stuggies there, but I kind of got
I just
monopoly on hot
that
dogs
would be
here.
I was going to say I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to pick that. I think hot dogs is all encompassing.
Yeah. All right, Brian, who you got?
I'm gonna mildly cheat here. I was in Pittsburgh for an event, but I didn't go to the ball game.
Oh, you're gonna do it.
I walked by the ball game, like the outside concessions there, and they had these things called Polish cannonballs.
Oh no, never mind.
I thought you were gonna take that crazy thing that they came up with last year. No. Polish cannonballs. Explain it.
So it looks like a fritter, and it is filled with kielbasa, sauerkraut, and they give a little like stone ground mustard on the side, and it's a polak. It was so good. Now, once again, I didn't go to the game, but it's a ballpark food they had right outside the stadium, and that they also sell inside the stadium. So
fair enough.
And if you want to pull, I mean, I'm sure we're not going to get demonetized by pulling up the food, but the Polish cannonball, it was delicious.
Yeah, I'll see if I can pull that up. Polish cannonball. It's it's like
I think I got like three or five of them, and I don't want to know what Joe Radke just said. I can pull up the chat if I need to.
Yeah, it sounds like a sex move.
Oh God. Present
Brian's go-to move.
This is what they look like, I guess, guys. Polish cannonball. Egg noodles, kielbasa, cabbage, bacon, cheddar cheese, and crema dip. Located at the
I got like a stone ground mustard. That's a little add-on that the vendor had outside.
Yeah, it does sound good.
It does sound good. It looks good. I would eat it for sure.
I put it in my mouth.
Jesus.
All
right. I get 2 in a row to finish off here. I'm going to go Cracker Jacks because nobody's taken them yet, and that's a crime. Especially if you get the little prize. That's the best part. Shoot. Give me Dippin' Dots. You don't really see those outside of stadiums very much anymore. Give me Dippin' Dots.
Speaking of, did you see the interview that I sent?
No, I haven't had a chance to yet.
I sent it out on our Instagram, on the Gary Williams Instagram, and it's the interview with the closer for Virginia from a few years back from the College World Series.
Oh yeah. I did watch that.
So funny. I love that dude.
All right, Brian, you get to finish your draft, and then Brooks, you get to finish the draft with your last pick.
I am in trouble here. All right, look, I'm gonna go nostalgia again. Give me the cotton candy.
All right, fair enough. I was wondering if somebody was gonna take it.
Yeah.
Give me the cotton candy.
We gave a ton of it when I was a kid, for sure.
That's definitely a nostalgic one. I feel like it doesn't hold up these days, but
no, because we all have insulin pumps now.
Yeah, right.
Oh,
I'm in between 2 of these right now, and these are from ballparks that Dustin and I have been to for the All-Star game. All right, this one's pretty universal. At Kansas City, they make an incredible Kansas City barbecue sandwich there. I don't know.
It's called the Z-Man. The Z-Man sandwich. It's got onion rings on top of it and brisket and then barbecue all over top of that bad boy.
Yeah, they got a couple different versions of it. That's one of them. And then they also do one on a hot dog as well with all the brisket and stuff like that on the hot dog. I was between that and I'll say my honorable mention is just a Permane sandwich from PNC Ballpark in Pittsburgh.
Permane Bros. Yeah.
Permane Bros.
Stuff that didn't come up. Thank God nobody took popcorn. If you eat popcorn at baseball games, you're a fucking weirdo. I've always thought that.
Popcorn's
I'm
for
not.
movies.
I don't love Cracker Jacks. I know it's a baseball thing, but I'm not a.
I don't like
huge
them
fan
either.
of them.
Oh, I love
I don't like them either. I don't like caramel popcorn. I like savory popcorns. I will say this: when I went out to San Francisco, I know you guys been to San Fran. I didn't realize that San Francisco was known for like their popcorn, like at the ballpark at least. They do like little kids have like they had all flavors of popcorn. It's almost like remember you get the big Christmas tins, it's got like the trifecta in there. They basically had that, but in a smaller version, of course.
Mm-hmm.
They had like popcorn. They had baseball bats that had popcorn in them for the kids.
Interesting.
That's cool.
I
don't remember that.
Popcorn. They obviously have kettle corn. Then they have popcorn ones where they like smear like stuff on top of the popcorn, which can get weird because popcorn can get soggy. I didn't know that about San Francisco. I thought San Francisco was known for its bread bowls.
I was gonna say bread bowls and chowder.
Speaking of popcorn, you know what a nice little life hack for popcorn is when you actually pop it at home, add some M&Ms to that bad boy and let them melt in there a little bit. So good.
And you didn't take cotton candy in this draft? What is wrong with
Brooks
you?
has got a sweet tooth. I'm not a sweet tooth guy. I'm a salty guy.
I'm a chocolate guy. See, I don't like candy stuff like cotton candy or like Skittles. I'm not a huge fan of those. Like, do I like them? Yes, but I've got a chocolate tooth. That's for sure.
Yeah. Other stuff we didn't mention: burgers, pizza. Not really baseball foods, but they are ball foods. The only thing I had on my list that we didn't really mention was those little frozen lemonades, the Minute Maid little frozen lemonades you used to get.
I didn't know if that was going to be. I didn't know if that was going to be allowed, so I just left it off.
You remember you used to get like the little like it was like a wooden little stick. And you just carve it at that fucking thing.
when we had season tickets, I feel like our parents got us that every single time we went.
Oh yeah, they were so good. I love those.
They were really good.
Yeah. Other than that, I don't really have any other ones. They have 24-inch burritos in Texas. That's crazy.
Yeah, they do.
I'm getting so hungry.
I know. I didn't know if bratwurst would be because I know there's brats at the stand outside of Pickles in between Tandem Yards.
Brooks said Italian sausage.
That would be Italian sausage.
Yeah, they're all pretty much the same. Yeah.
Well, bratwurst are German, but anyway. The s'mores quesadilla in Philly. My father got that when I took him up there for Father's Day. It is
somebody brought that up to me.
Mm-hmm. My dad got it while drinking a Leinenkugel. So you want to talk about juxtaposition of eats and drinks. Like, what in the hell are you doing? And then the Daddy Mac dog in Houston. I've never had it, but it just looks delicious. It has macaroni and cheese, which I love, and it's a hot dog, which I love. So you can't go wrong.
Yeah. I mean, look, the LA Danger dog, I'm not going to lie and say I don't want a hot dog wrapped in bacon with all kinds of stuff all over it. That sounds really good. Is there a Pollock Johnny still at Camden Yards? I don't know. Probably.
I don't know. So Camden Yards got rid of a couple of different vendors. I know like Jimmy Seafood is no longer allowed there. No longer there.
I think Jimmy's decided not to go back. So I wonder what happened with that relationship.
There's another one, and it's a big company around here that we should all know, and I'm just blanking on it at the moment. Was it Atman's? Someone was not asked back, and they tried.
Well, I think
no.
I think Atman's is still there. I think, but I'm not 100% sure on that. You'll be able to tell us tomorrow.
I'll be able to tell you tomorrow. I'm going to take a full tour of the park tomorrow, but just to walk around and see the new stuff. I want to see the new left field wall. So
yeah,
I bet you it's a wall.
I bet it's there. I want to see where Mr. Splash sits, like stuff like that. Because I knew where he sat last time, but
I think Derek Queen was Mr. Splash for quite a bit yesterday, which is kind of funny. We get to enjoy him as Baltimore, Maryland fans.
What's the new Oriole thing they have this year?
What do you mean? Menu stuff?
Celebration?
Yeah, the new menu stuff. And also, I want to talk about this national anthem that everyone was raving about. I didn't get a chance to see it. I was in the car.
It was really good. It was really, really good. I don't have vocal knowledge all that well, so I'm not gonna give you critique like I'm on The Voice here, but it sounded great. Big fan. Whoever did the national anthem, don't know who you were.
So it wasn't like a major artist. I guess is probably what I was really asking.
I don't think so. I was kind of heating up food while it was going on, but I heard it. It sounded really good. So anyway,
I got one thing to add here that I just saw on Twitter. SVP, which I'm going to probably listen to after this, blasted Willard, obviously, on his podcast
I
today.
saw that too, yeah.
The quote from Jeff Ehrman was, maybe you don't take a giant shit on the front steps of the house that you've lived in for the last 3 years. You don't do damage to the university and program where you've been for the last 3 years. It's just a quote that he tweeted from the podcast. So I'm excited to hear the full thing.
Yeah. If you've listened to PMT the last few days, hey, Caitlin.
Hey, Caitlin.
If you've listened to PMT or any of the Barstool stuff the last couple of days, Big Cat has been going crazy about this, about how big of a snake Kevin Willard is. And I love it because that's one of the most listened to podcasts in the country, and they should. Anyway, looks like Brooks has got some stuff going on. We're going to wrap up here anyway, guys. Thank you very much.
I do want to say this, and we'll save like the mental health stuff for Thursday, but I do want to give a shout out to Brooks and Caitlin. I know Caitlin can't hear me. But good job with Lindsay Gallion. She was super, super, super happy to know that you guys remembered her birthday and did something for her birthday, or at least talked to her on her birthday, whatever you guys did. So,
yeah,
well done.
That was a while ago. She's moving this week, actually.
No, she already moved. She texted me 2 days ago.
All right. Yeah, I knew she was packing.
Hell yeah. Awesome.
Hi, baby.
Everyone. Guys, thank you very much for listening. We're going to send off with Caitlin's wave. Thank you very much for listening, subscribing. Join the Huckleberries, and tune in on Thursday. We'll have more stuff. Enter the giveaway. We have a giveaway going on. Check out Instagram and Twitter for the info on that. I'll get the graphics done for this week's snake draft, and we will see you again on Thursday. Go Orioles.
Go.